Ladies and gentlemen, your favorite video game is as much as a part of your identity as your birthday or your name is. In my opinion, it tells a lot about the person. So in today's video, I thought it would be a lot of fun to finally go over what my top 10 favorite video games of all time are. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. So whenever I'm streaming or just talking to you guys on Instagram or Twitter, one of the main questions you guys have for me always is, what are my favorite video games? And I've probably mentioned a few of them here or there, but I thought it would be really fun to finally break out what the top 10 are. And I feel like this is one of the hardest things I'll ever do on this channel, simply for the reason while I was making this list, every time I would have 10 games, I would have to add one and take one off. And I did that over and over and over again until I finally said, this is the top 10 right here. This is definitive, and we finally have to make this video. Before we get started, if you could hit a like and subscribe, it would truly mean the world to me. We are getting very, very close to 8,000 subscribers, and that's really amazing. But let's just go ahead and get right into this video. So the very first game I have to mention today is The Legend of Zelda The Windwaker. The GameCube is my favorite console of all time, and I think a big reason is that I got it when it was brand new. Like the year that it came out, my mom got it for me on Black Friday, and it was the first new console I ever got in my entire life. And the first game I got was The Legend of Zelda The Windwaker. Actually, I didn't even get The Wind Waker. I got like this weird Zelda demo disc, and you could only play like an hour of The Wind Waker. And I would play that over and over and over again. And then when I finally got The Wind Waker, it was a done deal. It was the next great adventure for me. Like, I understand Ocarina of Time is a lot of people's favorite Zelda game, and for good reason. It almost made this list, but The Wind Waker is just so special to me. I love the whole concept of sailing around. I love the cartoon cel-shaded art style. I loved how it was a little bit more goofier and a lot more funny stuff going on. And I just actually beat this game again for the first time in like 15 years, probably like a month or two ago, and it was better than I remembered. So when I was 8 years old, it was my birthday, and my aunt came to me and she said, "What is your favorite color?" And I didn't want to be like the other kids. I wanted to be cool. So I said yellow, which I don't even know how I got cool from that. I know. So then we went to Chuck E. Cheese for my 8th birthday. That's right, I was ballin' at the time. And she gave me a yellow Game Boy Color in the only yellow game she could find for that said Game Boy, which was Pokemon Yellow. And that started a lifelong obsession with Pokemon. Again, I've played pretty much every single Pokemon game since Pokemon Yellow came out. And Pokemon Yellow is still my absolute favorite. Like, even on the Switch, my favorite Pokemon game is Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, just because it's a remake of Pokemon Yellow. I understand some people like Red, Blue, or Green better, but I like Pokemon Yellow because you can get all the starters in the game, and I rarely felt like I was Ash. Like, I would watch Pokemon simultaneously while playing this game. This was the first generation, so it was just a special moment that will never be captured again. Like, I would be doing something in the game, and then I would watch an episode of the show, and they'd be doing the same thing, and I truly felt like I was a Pokemon trainer on my journey to become a Pokemon master. And I could truly play this game 1,000 times in a row, like, beat the game, start over, beat the game, and start over, and I would truly have fun every single time. And back in the day, we used to share like little secrets, like there's a Mew underneath this truck, or you would do the Missing Co hack and you would get 100 rare candies. We did this all by word of mouth. You truly had to be there for these moments. So like I previously mentioned, the GameCube is my favorite console, and it's no secret my favorite Mario of all time is Super Mario Sunshine. Looking back, Nintendo kind of made a huge leap going from Super Mario 64, which is a great 3D Mario game, to giving Mario a water jetpack and going to like this tropical location, and I absolutely loved it. And now thinking back, they really went all like water themed, like Wind Waker and Super Mario Sunshine. I wonder if there's a reason for that. It is a very split game, like you either love this game or you hate it. The controls are kind of weird, but I actually love the controls and using the water jetpack and spraying like all the little ink away. And I love the levels, I love Delfino Island, I love the music. And I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but a reason why all these games make this list is because I can play them over and over and over again. And Super Mario Sunshine, I would love to have a sequel one day. I have been skating my entire life, and Tony Hawk was the first games I ever played that were skateboarding related, and they could make this list, they almost did, but I had to think, what skateboarding game can I play indefinitely and do play indefinitely? And it's Skate 3. Like when the Skate series first came out, I remember playing like a demo on the first Xbox and being like, oh my god, this is so realistic, this is crazy. And now playing it, it's like, these are pretty much arcade controls, but at the time, it was groundbreaking. Skate 3 is kind of an enigma because it has this weird community that still plays it to this day and does all these weird challenges and builds these crazy courses. and I truly felt like it was ahead of its time. They are making a new skate game finally after like 12 or 13 years. It's going to be free to play, so you know what comes with that, but I'm still excited nonetheless. But I've bought Skate 3 probably like 10 times, like on a million different consoles. I've bought it on PlayStation, I've bought it on Xbox, and I would like to buy it on the Switch if it ever comes. But yeah, Skate 3, it's the game I probably have the most playtime on any game in my entire life. Like, it's gotta be thousands of hours easily. So a game that really made me feel something when I played it is Hollow Knight. This is the definition of an experience. Like, I knew Metroidvanias weren't for me, and I just kinda didn't care about it. I was recommended this game a million times, and one day it was on the eShop sale for like $10, so I finally picked it up. And then I truly became an annoying person because I would not stop talking about this game to whoever would lend me their ear. It's such a special game. It has such a special community, but it would take me a whole video to explain how I feel about this game. And funny enough, one of the first videos I ever made on this channel was about Hollow Knight. Because I just had to talk about it to whoever would listen. And yeah, I could never do it justice in this video, but it's easily on this list. I need to listen to people more because another recommendation I got a million times was the Portal series, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna shoot a hole in the wall and walk through it. Really? That's special? Yeah, it turns out it's very special. Funny enough, the game that I'm actually playing on my Switch right now is Portal 1 because I've never played it, but for this list, Portal 2. This is a very special game because it teaches you to use your brain in a different way. Like, ever since you were a little kid, you understand a few simple concepts, right? Like, forward is forwards, backwards is backwards, up is up, and down is down. But in Portal, all of that's thrown out the window. You could walk forwards and pop down, or you could jump in a hole down and go left. Like, it makes you use your brain in a different way. It just has a beautiful concept that has comedic timing and just so much going on to where you never know what's going to happen next. And then sometimes you're like, oh, I understand what's going on here. Then you get to the next course and you completely have no idea what's going on. The number one advice I would have for you is to just do it yourself, no matter how long it takes, because you'll be rewarded heavily in the end. RPGs, there's probably 10, 20, 30,000 of them at this point, maybe hundreds of thousands, I don't know. There's so many RPGs. So which one would I pick for this video? Well, I'm going with South Park Stick of Truth. I'm a huge South Park fan, and I'm a huge RPG fan. Once I learned about this game, I was like, okay, this seems kind of promising. This is such a good RPG in every sense. And it's a South Park game where you essentially play out a South Park episode or a movie. And when you're watching an episode of South Park, you're like, man, it would be cool to walk around this city and explore and do whatever you want on your own time. And in this game, you can do that. Like, you're a new kid in this town. You can go in anybody's house, any restaurant, any business, any school. You can go up to Canada. The story is actually really good and really funny. They have one of the funniest difficulty settings on any game. Kind of questionable, but that's why I love South Park. Man, it's so freaking good. I could play this a million times in a row. So the newest game, like chronologically, I guess, on this list is Hogwarts Legacy. I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, and I've played pretty much all the bad Harry Potter games. Even the old Quidditch game on GameCube I kind of enjoyed. And what Hogwarts Legacy felt like is the Harry Potter game we've all been searching for. You're a student at Hogwarts, and you get to pick your house and live out like the school experience, but there's this menacing story going on, and depending on which house you choose, you'll have that story, which is so cool because it gives you a big replayability value. Like, I'm a huge Zelda fan, and this game came out the same year as Tears of the Kingdom. And when I was thinking about what my favorite game that came out last year was, Tears of the Kingdom didn't even enter my mind. Hogwarts Legacy took the top spot easily. The funny thing is I got this game for like Christmas, so I only played it starting like the last 7 days of the year, and it was still my favorite game of 2023. So this next entry is kind of like the entire series because I couldn't pick one, but I love all of them. And it's the Borderlands series. I'm just going to talk about this very quickly because Borderlands is so massive. I mean, there's like a show or a movie coming out soon. But I love the entire series. I've never played a bad Borderlands game. They hold up extremely well due to the cel-shaded art style. There's millions of guns in each game. The stories are wacky. I love the little robot Claptrap. And I truly hope this series will be here for a very long time. So this last game was hard to choose. There was a lot of games I put on and took off, but this one's kind of a nostalgic reason why I had to add it. It's one of my favorite gaming memories. When I was a super little kid, my grandma had a Sega and a Super Nintendo, and me and her would play Donkey Kong Country all the time together, and I still love this game to this day. It's a game that I go back and play every single year. Like every single year I'll watch Seinfeld and Futurama, and I'll play Skate 3 entirely, and I'll play Donkey Kong Country entirely, and they're kind of like my comfort vices, if you will. I understand that Donkey Kong 2 and 3 is objectively better, but the first one is just perfect to me. I can't find a single flaw in it. Like, the music in the water level is something that you can just put on a loop for 10 hours and just vibe out to. And the game just holds up so freaking good. But I think it's the perfect mashup, and what Rare and Nintendo did is a stellar job, and maybe we'll get something like this in the future, but regardless, I think this game will hold up for the next 100 years easily. Ladies and gentlemen, this was a super hard list to make because, like I said, you add 10 games, you're leaving off another 10. Some honorable mentions are probably like Ocarina of Time, Super Mario 64, Breath of the Wild, stuff like that, but I'm very comfortable with these 10 right here. Also, I have this game right here that I just wanted to add. It's like one of my most prized gaming collections. It's this weird Ed, Edd n Eddy Game Boy Advance game. It's still sealed, but it just feels like I'm holding my childhood in my hand, so I guess that's an honorable mention too. But now I ask you, what are your favorite video games of all time from any console? I would seriously love to hear from you guys. If you could do me a favor and follow me on Instagram and Twitter, I would really appreciate it. Like and subscribe as well. We're getting very close to 8K subscribers. Thank you so much for that. And you guys know me. I'll see you soon with a new video. Peace out.